What's up, traders? It's Trades here. Let's see what the market has in store for us today. It's Tuesday, the 29th of October. It's almost the last week of the month. What is the last week of the month? Almost the last day of the month. We've got news coming out at 2 p.m. UK time, US dollar news. So ideally, I do want to wait until then to look for any opportunities to trade, because there's two news out at the same time, and surely that's going to cause some volatility. So yeah, I'm just going to wait until then, even though it does look like there's potentially opportunities during London session. I'm just going to wait. So yeah, going into the week, right, we're bearish. We've had a series of bearish candles until, well, every single week for the 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks in a row. It's the last week of the month. So ideally, I expect price to close somewhere slightly, up. Because I don't expect this to be a close at the very low of that candle on the monthly time frame. So ideally, I do expect some kind of a retracement, especially because of the fact that we've come so deep into this discount of this range, that we've come into a sell side liquidity. It also happens to be at a 50% of this monthly time frame order block. Again, another strong point of interest below a sell side liquidity. Cleared out this inverse fair value gap on the weekly time frame, held this fair value gaps 50% on the weekly time frame, held a fair value gaps 50% on the daily time frame, and held with a bullish engulfing candle last week. Took out the high on Friday of that Thursday bullish engulfing candle, and then Monday we just put in a bullish candle, which is exactly what I wanted to see going into yesterday. So I didn't trade yesterday because of that reason, because you don't really know what Monday's going to do. It has come into this fair value gap and held, right? We had this breaker, we had this fair value gap. This is like a unicorn setup, market structure shift, and prices come up and held that so far. And going into today, look, we've just found consolidating around this fair value gap from last week. That price closed above, pulled back, closed above again, and it's now putting back and consolidating. Now I'm just watching for price to come up, take out yesterday's high, and find resistance and continue lower, maybe. Or we took out liquidity of this high before, displaced lower, it's now pulled back. So yeah, I'm going to be watching previous day's high. So, and I want to wait until the news for price to come out. It might start to move down. It might slowly start to move down until the news, giving the false impression that it's going to continue lower, and then you'll enter somewhere in the middle. News comes out, boom, takes out the high, and then continues lower. So ideally, yeah, just wait for the news. Even if it's moving down, I don't care. Maybe if it's moved down and then news can give me a retracement, and then we'll trade it down into that daily time frame order block or previous week's low. Ideally, I'm not sure if I want to trade it down to previous week's low, right? Because we are in such deep discount, and we've taken out such strong point of interest, or PD arrays, whatever you want to call them, that I actually don't think we'll take out last week's high. But if we do, right, if there is strong momentum, and if we do take out last week's high before Thursday, because Thursday is the last day of the month, then yeah, if we take out the previous week's highs today, then I want to see retracement tomorrow or Thursday, because I don't expect price to close down at below previous week's low on Thursday, because that's the last day of the month. And like I said, I don't expect a full-on bearish engulfing candle with no wick below on the monthly time frame. So if we do go down today, I want to see price come down and tap this low either later on today or tomorrow, right? Tomorrow, if I want to see the low of the week, and then Thursday, I definitely want to see price push up. And then on NFP, which is the first day of November, I don't care. We can come down and wick below or do whatever. But until then, yeah, or even NFP, we've got so much liquidity coming all the way down. So yeah, ideally I want to see the low of the week today or tomorrow. So yeah, please wait for news to come out. If a previous day's high price wicks above this, equal high as well, then fine. And then look for opportunities to go short. Like at the same time though, right? We've had bullish injection coming in since we rejected this monthly time frame order block, consequent encroachment, sell side liquidity on that daily time frame, a strong point of interest, price pushed up, bearish engulfing candle, pull down into this pin bar, boom, bullish engulfing candle, again came into this fair value gap. Honestly, still short, higher time frame is still short, so we'll just take that bias going into the day. Just to review yesterday quickly, so we opened up around here. I was predicting price to come into this zone. It did. I was watching this fair value gap. I was thinking maybe I wanted to short, but Monday gave myself, just didn't want to trade off Monday. Just not something I want to do. However, price came into that 240 fair value gap, and I trade channels, right? And we had a perfect channel right here towards the after between London and London close. We had a market structure shift right there, and we had a unicorn essentially, right? This breaker, we had a fair value gap, market structure shift, and I was watching this thinking 618 pullback would be a good entry to go short, and that is exactly what we get. A 618 entry, and down to this channel low would have been a good trade, but it's Monday, so I've left it for now, and that's something to note anyway. I've noticed a few things on Mondays before, and this is another thing that I've noticed, so it's a good play to potentially add into my trade plan. Going into pound dollar though, we had a doji day yesterday. Similar to euro dollar, it is also deep in discount, but it's not at, alright, it's deep in discount. So again, monthly time frame as well, we've had a strong bearish month similar to euro dollar. Strong bearish week last week, and we've come into the start of the second fair value gap right there on the weekly time frame. So yeah, we've cleared the first level of fair value gap, and we've got the second fair value gap right there. Ideally, maybe the 50% of this fair value gap can get tapped into, which also happens to be sitting right above that daily time frame order block. So that is a good point of interest for price to come down into and find support. Yesterday we closed with this doji candle after taking out Friday's highs, well, Fridays and Thursday and Wednesday's high, right? And we've got previous day's high right there. So I'm not sure if pound dollar will take out yesterday's high, because we've taken out so many highs yesterday. And we also had a market structure shift, right? Similar to euro dollar, we had a market structure shift, unicorn, essentially a breaker. We had a fair value gap, but then price came up all the way up to these equal highs, took out the liquidity, these highs from Friday, and then starting to find some resistance and starting to displace lower, leaving tiny fair value gaps at the moment. But seeing this bullish fair value gap and bullish candle yesterday and price pushing up, I was glad I didn't enter, or I just realized, oh, maybe it's not a good time to go for shorts on a Monday, because of the fact that it came into this bullish fair value gap on the 240 at 50%, held below this swing low, or well, closed below the swing low, but then put in this strong bullish engulfing candle. I was anticipating price to continue higher up. It did, and came into these highs last week's Friday, Wednesday and Thursday's high, and put in this bearish engulfing candle, which on the lower time frame is again a channel. At this high, we saw this candle. This is the type of candle I normally want to see when I want to go in the opposite direction. Essentially, especially when we see something like this, a pause, right? This is a prerequisite to a bearish engulfing candle. Normally a pause candle followed by a opposite candle, and then it normally follows with the engulfing candle that I need in my direction. So this candle that took out trapped sellers, trapped buyers, and then put in an engulfing candle was a good candle to go short, because it is at a nice like sell side liquidity. And here you could have shorted right here, because again on this as well, I had a channel on the 15-minute time frame yesterday. There we go, but it didn't give me an entry on the 15-minute. Normally I would have liked to see some kind of a market structure shift and then a pullback, but on this case I didn't really get that until later on. So, and now we've already reached the target zone, right? We've already cleared the low of the channel. So again, similar to euro dollar, I'm just going to wait until price takes out previous day's highs and then see what market does, and I'll just be waiting until the news comes out at 2 p.m. UK time and take it from there. Cool.